Hello BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today's video is a really special one. Recently I was sent a review copy of The Dead House by Kurtagich, by Dawn herself. She has a BookTube channel. It is Writaholic DK, which is a great channel. She's really fun, and she very kindly sent me an arc of her book because I was interested in reading it, and I've decided to do something a little bit interesting with this. As you will have known from the title of this video, I'm calling it Read, Review, Answer, Pass. I know, it's a bit long-winded. Basically, I have read the book, I'm going to review it, I'm going to answer a particular question that I'll be setting, and then I'm going to pass it on to another booktuber. When that booktuber has read it, then they are going to read it, they're going to review it, they're going to answer the same question, and they're going to pass it on to the next booktuber. And I just think it will be a really great way of getting this book out there and getting different people to read it and try it, and lots of different types of people. So I have now read this book. Let's just start by saying that this isn't my normal type of read. This is definitely leaning towards the sort of psychological horror type of book, and it wouldn't be one that I would naturally pick up because I am a big scaredy pants and I can't read anything that might make me feel a bit funny. But I thought, oh, it's YA. Can't be that bad, can it? Well, let's just put it this way. I read this in an evening, I couldn't put it down, and I was sitting downstairs on my own in my house. My daughter was asleep, my husband was upstairs working in the study, and I had to have all the lights on, and I kept hearing funny noises. And I don't know if you've ever read a book where you get that really weird, tense, like nervy feeling in your tummy because you just feel really like scared and worried, and you can't understand quite why, because your brain knows that this isn't real, but it still makes you feel a bit jumpy and jittery, and I had that, and it was a very unnerving experience, so thank you very much, Dawn. This is a really original, interesting book. It's told through journal entries and police interviews, and through different time frames and from different people's perspective. It's really clever. At the beginning, maybe for the first few sort of chapters, I was struggling to work out what was going on, but I think that's kind of the point. And I think as you get into this, you get hooked in, you start to realise what's going on, and it all sorts to unravel as you go along. The basic idea is we know there has been a fire at this boarding school. We know that something has happened. We know that the main protagonist from this story, Carly Johnson, is missing. But we're years later and we don't really know much else. And so we're seeing interviews with a psychologist who worked with Carly. We are seeing police interviews with various schoolmates of hers, and we're seeing her diary and journal entries. The premise of this book is that Carly is two souls in one body. So Carly is the person controlling the body during the day, and then when it gets to a certain time in the evening, Caitlin takes over, who's a totally different personality, a totally different soul, so to speak, and then she has the body in the evening. And we don't know all the way through the book whether this is real, whether this is a psychological break, because her parents have just died. We don't know, quite what is going on. And we do know, however, that Carly / Caitlin's parents knew about this, and they treated it as if it was real. So it's very interesting and very mind twisting, and I really loved that about it. One of the other things I really enjoyed is that there is one of the characters in there who is making a video for part of a sociological experiment to do with one of the school classes, and we see sort of transposed a description of what is going on in the video, and I found that really, really impactful. Actually, I found that really created a different sense, and you really felt like you were watching the video when you were reading that. That was really clever, and I've not seen that done before, so I really enjoyed that. So I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed the atmosphere and the way it made me feel, although I'm a big scaredy pants, as I say, and I struggled a little bit with being too scared, but it was really clever, and I gave it 4 stars. The only reason I didn't give it 5 stars is A, it's not obviously particularly my genre, and secondly, I did find it a bit confusing in certain parts, and it wasn't until we got later on in the book that I really understood what was going on, and then it was like, what is going to happen next? I need to know. And there was a little bit of sort of Scottish mythology / voodooism going on that I possibly would have preferred a little bit more explanation. Anyway, that is my review. 4 stars, great book, so pleased I read it, and as I always say, it just goes to show how good BookTube is, because I would never have found this book or possibly read it unless I had been on BookTube, watched Dawn's videos and got an arc, you know, just wow. So really pleased to be on BookTube. So the next part is to answer a question, and the question that I'm going to set this travelling type arc is, if you had the evening in a body, what would you do? If you couldn't be seen, but you had a whole evening to yourself, you could go anywhere you wanted, what would you do? I would find myself in a bookshop and browse, undisturbed, on my own, in the quiet and calm of the evening, until I had a massive stack ready to take home with me in the morning. I know, I can't help myself, it's always book related. Anyway, I'm passing this on to the wonderful Sam from Cold Tea and Crumbs. I can't wait to see what she thinks of this. And Sam, I'm passing it on to you now. Bye for now, BookTube.